Digital literacy of academics in higher education. Can you imagine teaching digital literacy using a chalkboard like this? I don't think so. I think you really need to engage both the learner and the tutor in the learning technologies. By definition, digital literacy is the ability to effectively and critically navigate, evaluate and create information using a range of digital technologies. It requires one to recognize and use that power to manipulate and transform digital media, to distribute pervasively and to easily adapt them to new forms. Digital literacy does not replace traditional forms of literacy. It builds upon the foundation of traditional forms of literacy. Why do we need digital literacy? Well, we would hope to move away from the traditional forms of information transmission and increase the scale of class size to a global scale if required. But it's really to engage learners at a different level. We want to allow students through learning technologies to collaborate on projects, participate in peer-to-peer problem solving and be creative in their discipline. Allow students to inform the higher education community of the technologies that they are familiar with and how they may be embraced for educational purposes. So in summary, we want to eliminate the digital divide between most academics and their students, between traditional and non-traditional students, and between academics and their colleagues. We want to empower the next generation of technical entrepreneurs. We want to allow participation and creation for both academics and students in higher level education on using Web 2 tools and even Web 3 more recently. It requires a change of mindset, as it will be an education transformation, and this moving from the sage on the stage to the guide on the side has occurred for many years now through blended and hybrid learning modules. The benefits of digital literary skills for students are many, both through creativity, collaboration, e-safety and security, and all of these will feed into their graduate attributes. The benefits for the academic are looking at different modes of learning and teaching through accessing collaborative working platforms, effective communication to individuals or larger groups through social media or learning management systems, looking at statistical tracking to feed into digital analytics and resourcing where there are poor performances, and looking at online assessment facilities for formative and continuous assessments for large groups or even small groups. And then the flexibility of the classroom. The classroom doesn't have to be within the campus. How can we bridge the digital divide? Looking at the NMC Horizon report for 2014, some of the recommendations are enhancing digital literacy of academic staff through mentorship, peer-to-peer learning, rather than a loose connection of various trainings. A recommendation from JISC in the UK looks at development of coherent, inclusive and holistic institutional strategies and organisational approaches to developing digital literacy skills for staff and students, and looking at funding to resource the development of digital literary skills for both staff and students. So it'll really have to be driven by management in order for it to be resourced and rolled out effectively. And this image sums up my current thinking of the networked teacher and looking at how these digital platforms feed in to the academic on a whole. Thank you.